When talking about badness of death, people think about the good things in the future life deprived of by death. If in the future you are expected to experience some good things, then death at this moment deprives you of those good things and may be bad to you. The problem is that those good things are just expectations, and depending on how you guess, the expectations can even be totally subjective. Que sera sera. People may expect they go to school, fall in love, own assets, get married, have children, etc., based on statistics or probability, which makes some sense, especially when they have evidence and reasons to believe they are ordinary and the majority too. And if they think those are the good things, they may be more confident to say death is bad for them before those milestones. Here, the statistics and probability are useful only when you are agnostic to the hidden factors. So arguably, you still need to subjectively believe that the statistics for the specific population can represent you, and this belief can be tenuous. For example, people can have undiagnosed congenital heart diseases, cerebral vascular malformation, and cancers which are hidden time bombs. These people can die anytime, and even if they don't die soon, they can suddenly suffer from huge pain and disability, preventing good things in the future. Of course, these hidden factors can be said to be bad when you compare people with these diseases to those without. But can death really be that bad here? Suppose a subject has some hidden time bomb and one day it suddenly explodes. The subject ends up being vegetative, in pain, and or severely disabled, such that no good things could be reasonably expected in his future. This is bad because if he hadn't got this hidden time bomb, or the bomb hadn't exploded, he might have been able to get married and have children which he thinks are good to him. But death itself in his situation is no longer bad for him because he is not expected to be able to experience good things anymore. Arguably, death is good for him because there will only be pain and frustration in his remaining life. Now, let's say this subject has no hidden time bombs anymore. He continues to live without debilitating disabilities. He expects he can get married and have children and have a fruitful life in the future, so he agrees that death is bad for him now. Unfortunately, he never manages to find a good person to marry and have children with, and he finally realizes that he may not be categorized in the ordinary and majority. And then he dies at the age of 120. He is forever alone, but he didn't realize this fate before. This is an oversimplified situation, but let's assume getting married and having children are the only good things to him. Is death bad for him now? Could he be expected to marry and have children after 120 years old if he hadn't died? These thought experiments demonstrate that badness of death is entirely situational, based on beliefs, assumptions, and even imaginations. Let's do more. Suppose the subject does get married and have children in his 30s, and then lives happily. He does not die at 120, but continues to live on. He has experienced all good things he ever imagined. Maybe all bad things he can ever imagine too. No more good things or bad things to experience in his 300s. Arguably, all will be bad, as all will be boring. Of course, death is nothing bad at this point, but can death be bad for him in his 50s? Death does not only deprive him of the good moments after his 50s, but also all the bad moments in his 300s. And after all, are those good things really worth in his 300s at his death and after his death? This doubts the weight of the good. Let's compare 4 situations. Situation A is me, living under low biological and psychological stress in Japan. He has good food, good clothes, good housing every day, but he is not stimulated by these good things. The only thing this little bastard does every day is to complain about being unfit in society and bored by society. Situation B is a homeless scavenger living under constant insecurity and stress. From time to time, he may have a good harvest and gets useful help from others. These are the good things to him, fulfilling both his body and his heart. Situation C is a successful businessman living luxuriously. He enjoys all the good things in his life, but at the same time also suffers from a lot of stresses and bad things, including insomnia, non-communicable diseases, competitions, insecurity, and problems from interpersonal relationships. Situation D is an imaginary me, no longer complaining about anything but only appreciating all the good things in his stressless life. Which situation do you want to live? Good things are available in all situations, but only perceived well in B, C, and D. So if you care about good things, then you have to choose among B, C, and D. But do you want to choose B as a homeless scavenger eating rubbish every day? I don't, because the life is too risky and stressful, or too many bad things. Similarly, C is also bad with all the bad things. D has good things but no apparently bad things. There will only be good things in D's life. Suppose we choose D now. Then the question is, what is the difference between dying now and dying at 100? And what is the difference between dying at 100 and dying at 300? Let's say he is good at positive psychology and discovers hundreds of good things constantly, even in his 200s. Every day he lives stresslessly, experiencing good things. What is the difference between appreciating 10,000 good things and 100,000 good things in his life? There are more thought experiments. Suppose I know I am going to die painlessly in 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, or 100 years. Would I behave differently? If I am going to die today, what should I do? Tell some people? For what? Go somewhere? Eat something? Why? Why do this now? If these are really important to me, I have done so already. Eventually, I may just live like another ordinary day. I can't think of any differences for longer periods of time. And what if I can decide exactly when to die? Should I choose to live forever? If not, when exactly should I die? Without a second thought, I may be curious about surviving for eons, experiencing the change of the world, but in reality, I am already experiencing different changes in the world. Now what? And suppose I observed how non-avian dinosaurs went extinct. Now what? This may be an interesting and good thing, but now what? Here I really need inputs from the audience. I just can't intuitively get why getting good things is worthwhile. Suppose good things make me happy, then how is getting happy worthwhile? Of course, being in pain intuitively sucks, so avoiding bad things is worthwhile. Death prevents people from experiencing pain too. So, should I kill myself now? Maybe this reflects that I feel better without pain, but I don't feel particularly better with happiness, and I don't really need to be happy. This suggests that the meaning and weight of good things in life are subjective, and thus the badness of death contingent on the good things is also subjective. In this case, death itself without pain can never be bad for me. Arguably, it is good for me because it prevents me from experiencing pain. If it is really true, should I kill myself now? Just now, we had thought experiments on dying painlessly in certain periods of time. Now what if I know I'm going to suffer an unnoticeable pain like being stinged by a mosquito for 10 years and die? Probably this is not much different from dying painlessly in 10 years. And now what if I'm going to be in a coma for 1 month and then die? I guess because I am in a coma, I can't do much or feel much. So dying right now versus dying in a coma in 1 month may not be different to me either. What if I will have DOMS-like pain for 30 years and then die? Should I prepare my exit bag immediately? And what if I suffer from unbearable pain constantly and die in 30 years versus in 1 year? Is dying sooner better? At this moment, one way to convince myself I don't need to kill myself right now is to make myself realize that actually I don't care about pain either. For example, being sick feels bad to me, but if it is still tolerable, I don't care. So that I can delay killing myself until I experience bad things that I can't tolerate anymore. In this case, it turns out there is no badness of death to me, but only effort to die. until a life event is painful enough to trigger the threshold for the justification, should I make the effort to kill myself? All the discussion makes me feel that life and death, meaning of life and badness of death problems are much, much more trivial than previously thought. Moreover, to me and possibly others, happiness may be more trivial than once thought. The opposite of happy may not be sad. The opposite of good may not be bad. I am good or not, so what? As long as I'm not bad, it's enough for me. As I always say, pain or keeping myself out of pain can be considered as my meaning of life. All these highlight the importance of including pain, disability, as well as quality of life in the holistic evaluation of well-being.